So recently had the opportunity to share an interview with Anna Brown. And for those of you who don't know her, she can be fiery, but she can also be compassionate. Or in her own words, she is exactly what the situation calls for, intuitively, energetically. This interview is a whole lot of being human, a whole lot of being everything other than human in the explorations in between. And I'm sure you will find plenty of gems therein. So please enjoy. And as always, leave any questions in the comments below.
Hey Josh,
Hi,
what's up?
how are you?
Good, how are you doing? Got some
So
cool posters behind you. Those are neat.
yeah, they're kind of tongue in cheek too. This one says the man who knows.
Yeah, look at those eyes. Very
Yeah.
serious.
I don't know if you're familiar with that whole era in the early 1900s with all the illusionists and the mentalists.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not huge, but I know what you're talking about. I'm guessing this was a big character, this guy.
Yeah, this guy, there was Houdini kind of a little bit
Yeah.
later. This other guy over here, it says Keller. Let me see if I can
Oh,
shift.
I've heard of Keller. I've heard of Keller.
He's got
Yeah.
self decapitation.
Oh, dude, those are cool. I really like those.
It's kind of
That's neat. Yeah.
yeah. So, um,
Well, well,
yeah.
thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
How do you be? What's new?
Oh, not a lot, man. Well, actually, yeah, there is a lot. I'm converting my garage for sat songs. That's the newest thing that's popping up. It's a
Awesome.
slow moving process, but that's what's unfolding right now. Yeah. What about you?
Um, it's just been full here, pretty full with
Cool,
one-on-one
man.
talks at retreats, and
Nice.
it's a tide, right? It's like this big ebb and flow kind of experience. So
Mm-hmm.
fun.
I hear you, man.
The yes is easy, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
very rarely comes out as a no, but it always feels like a yes.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. What are you talking about when the same, in the sense of like circumstances or opportunities that pop? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Cool.
I'm sure you understand. There's probably plenty, right? They just
Yeah.
mails and
Mm-hmm.
people want to chat with you, and you know how it is.
All
So
right. But not everything fully aligns. Yeah. I
it,
mean, you can feel it. You can
it
totally feel it.
all works out
Yeah.
perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
no
Mm-hmm.
effort required, it seems. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. That's cool.
So anyway, I don't really have questions. I don't really do it that way.
Okay.
I just, let's flow. Let's
All
chat.
right.
Do you want to, I'm sure plenty of the audience already knows a lot about you, but do you want to give us an idea of what this path has looked like for you?
Well, I don't like to talk too much about my past, to be honest,
Okay,
because it's a huge story, and I'm really interested in what's appearing now,
sure.
what's here right now, the aliveness of now.
Hmm.
But if you have a specific question about my past, I'll share it with you.
What's arising now that seems to be new, different, fresh?
Currently rising is breath,
Mm.
sensations,
Sensations. Yeah,
and they're constantly changing and moving.
it's never the
But
same.
there's something that, right, there's a constant flux.
And when you're working one on one with people, when they're speaking of like how thoughts seem to be tied up with things, and you are pointing to sensation, is there any specific cue that tends to arise for them?
Awareness. I always guide them back to awareness, to what's looking, because when we're seeking, we tend to infuse outside of ourselves. So
Mm.
naturally, if we just say what's looking, we kind of come back here, and there's like a jolt into, oh, I'm looking. That's interesting. Okay. It's kind of like a jolt in what we call an awakening, because it's that simple. You're what you're looking for.
How does play
Your
tend
God. Yeah. Go ahead. What'd you say?
in terms of like play? Because I'm just getting such a playful energy right now. I don't know what it is, but how does that?
Well, it's just when we're a human, when we feel like we're a human, everything is so serious and blocky, and there's methods, there's a real fucking path, and it's just heady. There's lots of healing. It's just all mental, and that's where the seriousness comes in. But we got to say that you're a human and you're also a god. There's a human in you that's highly stubborn, and it's logical. It's kind of Spock like, and then there's the God in you, which is infinite potential, and it could care less. Like, it doesn't give a shit. It's almost like let's play. It's got like a Loki energy to it almost.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but you're both, and we never fully get rid of the human. It's like the human is integrated into your vaster
definitely.
aspects.
I mean,
Yeah.
How could they be separate?
Right. You become amigos with your human instead of trying to kick it out all the time. You know what I mean?
I have a 14-year-old, and she looked at me
Oh
one.
wow.
And she goes, hey, Dad, aren't we all just a bunch of fancy monkeys? I was thinking something.
Nice.
The ways we dress and
Fancy.
things like that. We just got all this bling on. We're like blingy monkeys,
Yeah. A little bit more intelligent though, I would say that.
probably, or
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends.
Well, it depends on the character, but obviously the human has the potential to be highly intelligent. The monkey can only go so far within its evolution, so to speak.
And that does seem to show up a lot too, where it becomes kind of like a place of comfort, maybe a refuge of familiarity, intelligence. You notice that a lot?
I mean, there's an intelligence that's not of this world, which is what we're talking about. We can call that presence or God or the awakened state, whatever you call it, but it's an intelligence that's not from this world,
Right.
but can create worlds. It's beautiful.
It's kind of cool too, because it's like a type of knowing that just doesn't fit in the framework of knowledge.
Yeah, it's intuitive.
No cause, no effect. Okay, here's one. Here's one that's been coming up a lot lately with people. How do I access my intuition?
Well, you're a multi-layered being. You just have to go to the deeper aspects. So you get out of the shallow end, you go to the deeper end. That's all it is. You're a spectrum of light. So you just tune inwards and you go deeper because
Mhm.
you're the infinite. You're not thinking about it.
That's
Yeah.
that's where I was headed. There's seems to be something semi-visceral, maybe at first for a lot of people.
The message that I'm sharing is inclusion. So there is no right or wrong. If you want to put a story to it, go for it. I mean, that's the beauty of form. Everything is included. And that's when the seriousness drops away. We stop comparing teachers. Who cares? You're the light.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
it, rock it. And if you want to create a story, and there is an appearance of cause and effect, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like its own little filter, it seems. Meeting people where they are is something that comes up a lot. Does that ever arise for you, to meet people where they are, and what does that usually look like?
Yeah, you could say that happens sometimes, but not all the time because life bends to the character that's in front of them. And sometimes the character needs a slap in the face. Sometimes the character needs like a shake and a jolt. And there was times on my pathless path where I needed that too, but that's also love. So love knows if I need to be soft and silky. Love also knows when it's time to kind of shake you and kind of a thing. But it's you doing it to yourself because there's only you in existence. And if you're a stubborn one, well, you may get shook.
There is that for sure. And I mean, for this particular character, definitely.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
you
Oh, same.
there
Yeah.
was it's like I wanted to chew gravel for so long. It's so strange, but it's
Yeah.
part of the path.
Yeah. Yeah. For some of us, not everyone, but yeah. Apparently for us, right?
Yeah, so I had an interview with a young woman named Alma, and she didn't have to chew gravel, and that was kind of refreshing to have one of those conversations too. I'm like, wow, it's been pretty
Yeah.
smooth and open for you, and clean,
Awesome.
you know.
Yeah.
And then other times, I did I don't know if you know Eshvar at all, but I did a
Mm-mm.
conversation with him, and his path is very much like, yeah, I was in rehab and all these things going on, and that's just how it's been. And so
Mm.
that's what's beautiful about this. It's like a kaleidoscope of color with all of it.
Yeah.
Seems to be
Yeah.
us.
There's no one size fits all. That's for sure. Yeah. That's for sure. So we're
Definitely.
kind of screwed with the whole paths and the methods. I mean, because it's not how it works.
It's really not. I mean,
Yeah.
there seems to be
Yeah.
similarities, but it's not
Right.
it's not as clear in terms of this framework. It's
Mm-hmm.
once again felt. When you keep bringing up felt, there's no doubt about it. And that's
Right.
one of the things that feels so good about having a conversation with you in this moment. There's something that's just felt even underneath the content. What is
Yeah.
the content, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's just source spitting. Yeah, you can feel it. That's like the beauty of what we call grace or recognizing your faceless face. It's just like and zing, your whole body is lit up with goosebumps. Like when you know yourself, when you see yourself, when truth, we want to use the word truth, is there. Like your whole body lights up and is like, fuck
Nothing. There
yeah.
is authenticity makes no apology.
Oh God, no.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, but okay, it could say sorry, right? Because that's included too. But you're right. It's unapologetically itself, which could be appearing as an apology, and that's also authenticity. Like hell yeah, Right on. Yeah. Anything goes. And that's the beauty of it. It's a gorgeous buffet. So let's play.
Let's play. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And with play, there is boo boo sometimes, right? But that's why there's band aids
But it,
and hugs.
would it be
Yeah.
play without it? I mean, we
Right.
part of the play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like hide and go seek. Imagine, you know, you go in a corner and there's like 20 people and you count to 20 and you turn around, nobody went anywhere.
Oh, hey guys. You
Everybody,
suck at this game.
what were we supposed to do?
Right. Yeah.
In person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. How many
Yep.
people are you going to be able to put in there?
Oh, so for the satsang garage, yeah. So that's what we were talking about at the beginning. I'm not sure, under 20. It's a small little garage, but it'll be very intimate. But that's what my message is all about, is intimacy. So yeah, that's where we'll begin, is here at my house, just doing some satsangs in my garage, man. Keeping it real and fleshy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing since the whole COVID era that
Mhm.
definitely there's like a hunger for more of that in-person closeness, you know?
Yeah.
I had a
Totally.
gentleman he did a dyad and he's like, it was so hard just to make eye contact because there was just something there that that had never arisen before. And so I was
What's a dyad? What's a dyad?
so for whatever this particular exercise was, they
Mhm.
sit in a chair and
Mhm.
basically just make eye contact for an extended period of time. And
Oh, okay.
sometimes there's like an energy that they're attempting to tap into. So sometimes there's a thing called a love dyad, right? But it's just
Mhm.
to see the awakened, to see the awareness in
Yeah.
the eyes of another. And
Yeah.
it was like the gaze itself. He found it so difficult to make eye contact. And as we went,
Yeah.
when you brought up intimacy, there was a sense of vulnerability there. And he pinpointed for him humiliation.
Mm.
I feel to
Mm.
him. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, there's something interesting there. I think for a lot of
Mm.
they
Yeah.
equate humiliation and vulnerability as the same type of experience.
Mm.
And I said, well,
Mhm.
without those thoughts that are rattling around and just to settle in that sensation, is it so bad? You know?
Right.
But
Right.
it's
Because that's all. Yeah. That's because you're being seen for the first time.
and it's
You know what
scary.
I mean? Yeah. Yeah. But if you just, I mean, it's just, and the reason why we look away is because integration will happen if you stay with it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Oh God. Yeah. I'm being sucked into it. Yeah. Because it is. That's how it happens when you just melt and then you're gone. And it's
I'm
like,
getting
oh,
close to something and there's no
yeah.
back.
Myself. Yeah. That's what I'm getting close to. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it is, I get it. Like how we have that fear and stuff. It's all of the body and such, but I get it. I get it. It's understandable, you
Yeah,
know? And then
absolutely.
it disappears and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like falling in love with every single human being because there's elements of like, oh, so recognizable. I see you and I see all the pieces that don't want to be seen. And there's something kind of, I don't know, man. It's just poetry. It's
No, that's where poetry comes from too, though. I mean, think about it. We have to have the contrast and the friction. Otherwise, we'd be too sterile. There would be no poetry.
yeah.
Poetry comes when we see suffering. Poetry comes when we see like the romance. But you have to have the contrast to even see that. You know what I mean? That's what causes that movement of emotion. You know, so that's why emotion is gorgeous. I mean, it's
Oh,
electricity and magnetism.
yes.
So form is gorgeous. I mean, form is delicious. It absolutely is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fun experience too of letting go it's a tough term. It's more like letting be or allowing when something wants
Mhm.
to seemingly go away and then it comes back and there's like that
Mhm.
transcendent experience of it's not the same, but it's similar.
Yeah.
Oof. Love
Yeah. Yeah. It is weird, isn't it? It's like everything's the same, but it's not because there's not a person localized anymore. So it's like you still have a character appearing and preferences, but I mean, it's a lucid dream. It kind of is chaos appearing orderly. Really, it can be kind of chaos. It's like, did that happen? What happened? You know what I mean? Because it's moving, it's
yeah,
blending,
yeah.
it's breathing. It's not stagnant. So yeah, there's still part of you that's like, that's interesting. That'd be the human in us. But there's another part that's like, duh, like that's not, duh, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes I say, hey, why don't you just go fill up a 5-gallon bucket and grab me a handful of water just real quick, And they go, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, okay. So you could probably, you could ease up a little bit. It's like, what is it? There's like 250 bodies on Mount Everest, So maybe you can chill out.
Is it really? Wow. God.
It's ambition is a weird thing because the experience seems to be.
I'm sorry. That's a little funny. I mean, I know we're talking about death, but it's like there's 250 bodies just hanging there like ornaments, like a Christmas tree.
I guess they can't rescue them because like helicopters really can't get up that high because the altitude, and people are so exhausted that just to remove a body could cost them their life. So they're just
there frozen. Like, I guess. Interesting. Okay.
I guess every once in a while they do retrieve the Sherpas, because the Sherpas are pretty badass.
What's the Sherpas? What's that? You're educating me. You learn something new every day, folks. This is so exciting. Mount Everest and dead bodies. Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
who knew this is where the conversation goes?
This is the best way to have a conversation. Who cares about all these like agenda oriented questions?
No, I get you. Yeah.
The Sherpas are the local people that are acclimated to altitude, and they're not very big people, but man, they will like carry these like 200-pound white guys that thought it was a good idea to get to the top of Mount Everest. You know what I mean? So
I can see that now. Yeah.
They're kind of it's an interesting.
Sounds like they're badass. Yeah.
See? Okay.
Seriously. But wow, interesting.
So yeah, the inertia of what seems to be life. Yeah, that's where this seemed to be heading a little bit. I think
death is included. Yeah, so I guess that's why that popped up. Death's included in all of the life.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And this whole like sensing of here's an interesting story. So last summer I went to the Midwest with my partner to visit her grandparents, and they were both centenarians at this point. And her grandmother, who's from a very traditional background, this pastoral, like she always was a housewife kind of thing, she sat us down and she said, well, this is the last time you're going to see me. And the way she spoke, just so like clearly, it was clear that there was just a wide open eyes right there, so wide awake. And then they both ended up passing away with about a month of each other. And we had gone back to visit the house. They didn't go anywhere. I mean, like they were felt so clearly there. You know what I mean?
And yeah, totally.
Something kind of beautiful about that too. It's
it is. Yeah.
Where's the end?
Right. Where their energy signature is still kind of floating around for a bit. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing.
It was like they were walking around. We were down the street, and it was like, man, it just was so clear.
That's so cool.
And I look over at Laura, and she's like tearing up because she's feeling it too. And I'm like, this is the thing, How beautiful is this?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't seem to, death is part of the inertia. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally. There's only life. It just takes on new shapes and forms. Yeah.
So, what about past life stuff? I get asked this a lot, and I'm just curious to hear someone else speak of it.
Everything happens now. There is no past. It's all happening now, kind of like a dream catcher web or a spider web, and you're the nexus point for everything that exists. That's why you can pull all of your wisdom and intelligence into this now, so to speak, because your past and future lives are all existing now. Because you're infinite potential. So it's all vibrating now, and you just tune into it, and that's what you express.
Beautiful.
Cool. Yeah.
Does practice arise for you ever, like meditation or anything like that?
I do yoga, and I will sit in the depths of my being just when I have the time. I've got a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old and lots of animals. So I don't have a whole lot of extra time to just sit to do that. But I mean, if it feels right, I'll sit and go to the deeper layers just because that's what feels right. But sometimes I dance, sometimes I sing. It's just whatever feels right,
That's about how it's like here. There's no forethought. It just, if it happens, it happens.
Right. It's all like, just organic. It's not forced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But it could look forced though. Like, let's say if I'm training, strength training, it could looks like there's efforting in it because I'm building. So those types of things still appear, and that looks like a practice because I'm training my body to grow in size, so to speak. You know what I mean? So all of that still plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and where's the problem still?
Right. I mean, there could be something that pops up like, oh, I just broke my weight or something like that. But that's just what's happening, and that's what's arising, and we're flowing with it. And yeah, that's life. Yeah.
So you have a house loaded with animals. What kind of fun creatures do you live with?
I have chickens. I have human kids. Those are also animals. And I have 2 Nigerian dwarf goats. So they're like the size of a medium dog. So they're tiny and cute, and they're a little ornery, like me.
Oh yeah.
So we quite fit. Yeah. And they have horns. So rock on, right? Like, yeah. I love it.
How do the kids deal with that?
Oh, they love them. Oh,
Yeah.
they love them.
Beautiful.
Totally. They'll go collect the eggs and hang out with the goats. Sometimes the goats will, headbutt you or whatever, but it's
Right.
okay. Part of it.
Yeah, nothing like having hens, huh?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, we have 14 here, and
oh wow,
it's become almost a form of just like neighborly currency. Everybody's like, "You got those eggs?"
Hey man, you got stuff. You got those good eggs. No, seriously though, backyard eggs are delicious.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
amazing. Do you name your chickens? Did you name your chickens?
Yeah, we do. So we're up here about 7,500 feet in Colorado. So
Oh wow,
pretty high, and
yeah,
pretty rural. So we get some interesting predators, which is kind of fun too, actually.
yeah,
And there was a point where we didn't name the new ones because there was such a turnover,
yeah.
And
I hear you.
kids were like, I don't know if I can handle it anymore.
I get it. I get you. You probably got a lot of coyotes and stuff like. Well, even the coons and the foxes, they like chickens too.
Oh man, yeah, they'll pull a head off.
Oh yeah, it's gnarly. It's gnarly. That's why I got my big dog Heimdall, which is part Pyrenees and Anatolian Shepherd.
There you go.
He's the main reason. Yeah, and so he's, that's just what their job is. Get out of my yard right now. Heimdall. Yeah, Viking. It's Norse.
So cool.
Do you know it? Because most don't. Do you know Heimdall?
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
Cool.
Is it based on?
He was the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge. It's Norse mythology, but he was the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge, and he had a big horn. And Pyrenees are known to bark a lot for warning, so that's why I call them Heimdall. He's the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That'll keep the critters at bay to some degree.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, he's a love bug, but he sounds scary and he's really big.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that really low frequency bark.
Oh yeah, and if you're not part of his tribe, he's always like, "Hey, who are you, dude? What you doing here? I got questions for you." You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Let me see your pass.
Right. I'm the bouncer.
Here, I'm gonna show you a picture of Amadeus.
That's a cool name.
This is Amadeus. Yeah, it came in a dream. This is Amadeus in one of his cutest faces.
Oh my god, look at that face. That's so cute. What kind of dog is that?
He's a Corso, Cane Corso. So an Italian Mastiff, pretty big dog.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I've seen a Mastiff. I've just regular ones, and they're huge.
Yeah. Really gentle boy, but he's also the same thing. Let me see your pass. Do you belong here?
Right. But once you're in, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're in. I got you. I'll protect you. We're friends, and that's cool.
Yeah, and just watch the crotch because he just doesn't get it. That's how it gets.
Or the butt. What's with the sniffing there, guys? Come on, can we evolve out of that? Please.
It's also why we love you so much.
Is it?
I mean, for us, it doesn't happen. It's always newcomers, and it's like you don't. I mean, you don't have to. Do you? I guess you do.
A little awkward there for a sec. Hey guys, welcome to my home. So sorry. But you've been initiated.
And he's about 150 pounds, and he is.
Oh wow, yeah, big boy.
You're talking about lifting weights. This guy, he's just naturally just built, right?
Oh, totally.
I mean, I outweigh him by 50 pounds, but that means nothing. No. And so I'm holding him, and he's like, I just want to sniff, and I'm like, it's okay, buddy. It's okay.
You're using all of your strength to hold him back. Yeah.
I mean, truly, I'll get the burn in the biceps and everything. He's just
right. Dude, I get you. Yeah. Love it.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Here's been another question that's come up. Maybe it'll be fun to field this one.
what is letting go? When somebody's asking that question, they always go, "Oh, I gotta let go." What is letting go? What?
You're letting go of a limited concept of yourself, a limited concept. That's all. Because you're everything. So you're just letting go of one concept or assumption of yourself. There's spaciousness. And then you could assume a new concept. I mean, because that's what you start to realize. Like, you're going to play with concepts. It's Play-Doh. You know, it's part of expression and form. It's just you don't get attached anymore. Your attachment comes from this idea that thoughts is what makes me, so to speak, but you realize there's something here that's all abiding without thoughts. Okay. It's like this beautiful, massive potential, but what do you want to see embodied? What do you want to express? You can pull from that potential. That's the actualization. That's our empowerment. You know, it's like we don't have to stay stuck in depression or poverty. That's not realization. That's not what we're talking about. A lot of beings will hold that idea with non-duality of like, well, depression's just arising, poverty's just arising. I guess I'll just be poor, but they're unhappy, you know? And it's like, come on now.
That's such a tough one too. Cause I mean, is it, sometimes challenges come natural. When you talked about, it's like the term would be a Zen slap, right? Sometimes you need to get a slap, you know, or wake up. Complacency isn't, I mean, complacency is just another side of the same coin. There's no difference, right? And so maybe poverty isn't arising. Like, consider that. There's still a framework that you're kind of buying into. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's just, you know, what the thing is though, is until this is heard intuitively, until we're really hearing with presence, so to speak, we're going to take it on as a new philosophy and it's going to be super heady. That's why nothing matters. I don't need to feed my children or my body because I don't exist. It's like, fuck off. Come on, guys. Come on. We're talking about a 360 integration where you're everything and nothing. Yeah. Who changes the toilet paper roll? You do. So you're the one also who's going to bring the prosperity because you're the source of everything. Yeah. You just had a short experience or dream of being impoverished, right? So that's your springboard into the other spectrums of light, so to speak, which is you. You're everything.
Yeah. The sacred cow, the replacement of the sacred cow on a regular basis. Oh, it's this. And now it's this. No. Okay. Right. Now it's this. Maybe it doesn't have to be anything in that way.
Or it's everything or not. Right. Yeah. Or that's the paradox of it.
Same. Yeah. Really, really same thing. I know that some of the people who are listening go, well, they're definitely different, but it's not really different at all. It's everything. Yeah. It's nothing. It's everything and nothing. It's neither. It's both. It's, but you keep pointing to something that's so clear. There's something felt here. It's a good guide. Yeah. It's a great guide.
Yeah. Well, it's within us. I mean, we can't even talk without the light of what we call God or the absolute of consciousness. I mean, it's that fundamental. You're the light of the world. That's why you can see or perceive. I mean, it's that base.
Yeah. Yeah. Fundamental. Like fractals of creation, destruction simultaneously all the time is how it can seem.
Yeah. It's just we have to know that we're the one creating and destroying, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we want to use those words if we want to use that word.
Yeah. Sometimes in a co-fashion.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously, because that's why I say it's like chaos appearing orderly. Yeah, your points of references do fall, but it's amazing how there's still words like that come out of this mouth when you ask a question. You know what I mean? Because it is chaos appearing orderly. You know, and it's true here, not true here. You know what I mean? It all depends on where you're coming from. That's why the highest truth is nothing is, so to speak. Stillness and silence is our highest pointing and teaching because we realize that. Always. Well, it's just like when you turn the TV off at the end of the day. Zoom. Oh. Oh. Okay. No problem.
Yeah. When I was a young kid, it was when the TV wasn't tuned in to the frequencies, it was static. And so the turning off of that static.
Yeah, you're just like, it just zoom.
Oh,
yeah.
There.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like the silence is there's an aliveness in that silence. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And that doesn't really usually fit the frame of experience that's compulsively doing.
Right.
Effort against, moving away from, pushing against something that you can't push against, attempting to create division where there's no way there could be division. That's
Right.
that's always so interesting. And then it shows up as form, and then we get, some so caught up in the form that we go, oh, it is divided. No, it's just temporary.
It seems that way. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like we could say duality only exists when we're thinking.
It seems, yeah.
Seems that way.
Doesn't
Or when
the
we're
mind,
heavy. Yeah.
the mind seems really binary. This is the whole happy, sad, good, bad, right, wrong, pain, pleasure kind of experience. It's so two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. The
So
emotions? Are you talking about the brain? Or what are you talking about?
just that
All of it.
perception that we want to fall to like a singular experience because the brain just cannot, it is incapable on its own to perceive anymore. But the intelligence that you keep speaking of, that's always there. Touch it.
Right. You can say it's the intelligence of the heart. And I mean, science, thank God, is hand in hand with what we're talking about here. I mean, the heart literally has neurons in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like what I'm talking from right now is the heart. It's speaking. There's no thoughts as I talk. So it has its own, like, it's a conductor. And that's what you move through. That's like your organic movement. That's actually the organic way a human should be, so to speak.
Yeah. Truest nature.
Man. Yeah. It's organic.
I mean, you were born with it, baby.
No, true. And isn't it cool though that the heart was the first organ to form? It formed before the brain did. I mean, that's pretty clear right there.
Yeah.
That's where it begins. That's where it ends. It all ends in the heart,
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And each of us are the heart of God, appearing as these beautiful vessels. It's amazing.
Different kaleidoscope, fun, interesting colors.
Yeah. That's love though. That's the beauty of it. Like, you're so loved. You're so beautiful and perfect. Life won't appear as you. Like, that's grace.
That's pretty.
Oh yeah, that's holy, man. You're holy. It's gorgeous.
You're getting poetic again. It's beautiful.
I love it. It's just the only way it can be. It's what enlivens me. It is to be poetic with you. It's devotional. It's adoration.
Yeah.
It's a miracle to even talk right now about this, really.
and fun. Truly.
No, no, it is exquisite, but it's not all beings are open. So when there's not an openness with the other versions of ourselves, there's almost like a shield where it can't flow fully. Like, you're very open, so we can have this beautiful poetic conversation. But if there's like this, it's like the energy won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me. Yeah, you got me. We can't dance, but you and I are dancing. So there's like this openness, and the energy's building, and it's like synergistic. Synergy. We'll just use the word synergy.
Yeah, it's good enough,
Whatever the word is. I don't even care if it's right. Who cares?
Words are made up. They're all made up, and they're a bunch of sounds. So
we'll just start speaking tongues if we wanted to, right? Whatever. We'll go tribal.
Hey, Anna, pull out them rattlesnakes.
I wish I had some tails right now. I'd pop them out.
That is nature's maraca, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sure. This is just coming up. So there's this deck of these strange cards that have been kind of, how you're speaking when it just comes out. Well, these cards show up in the same way. So
cool.
Would you like one?
Sure, I'll take a card.
Let's see what it says.
Okay.
This is a softball for Anna.
What won't you be? And I love that the guy's eyes are like right above it as you showed it to me, behind you. Perfect.
The man who knows.
Yeah.
So juicy. Limitations. What are limitations?
What we kneel to, the thoughts or the ideas, beliefs we kneel to. That's our only limitation, you could say. But I will say, within your character, you have so many potentials. Just like a sunflower is meant to be a sunflower, rose is meant to be a rose. This character here, I always say, is not going to be an astronaut in this lifetime. Okay, like, it's just not going to happen, because
you're already in outer space.
I know, in a way, I am an astronaut, which is kind of cool. We all are. So that part's funny. But you feel me. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain unique potential there that you can push out, just like a sunflower can fully get really tall and poof, get really big and gorgeous. Like, we have that same capability. It's just, unlike the sunflower, we have the divine gifts of mind, imagination that can be used consciously. So we don't have to wait on rain.
Yeah. Fun game.
Yeah, totally.
When it comes to working with your kids, since, we both share that, this these questions come up a lot. Okay, what about, how does this apply to being a parent?
Well, it applies to everything. I mean, there's only consciousness. And once you realize there's only consciousness, it's to your own consciousness you must turn for your safety, for your confidence, for healing all relationships. Everything is projected from you and your mind. Period.
Yeah.
There is no other creator. You're the creator.
Yeah.
So if you want to be more loving with your friends and family, you have to first be loving with yourself and understand that you're God and that you can heal all of your relationships, but you have to show up in a new energetics, a new consciousness, which means I don't go anywhere. I shut the peepers. I go inside to the infinite self, and then I pull through that emotion, that energy, that flavor of consciousness. And it will seem like it takes a minute because your body's been weighed down by unconscious beliefs. But you'll see, oh my God, things are rearranging. Things are being kinder. Why? Because I'm more conscious and I am kinder.
Yeah, I just love that you use the word peepers. That one got me. That was good.
Yeah, the peepers.
Peepers. I love it. Yeah, the way that tends to show up here, same thing. Wholeness here is wholeness everywhere.
Right.
Lacking here, well, seems to be kind of it's a big clue. Got some breadcrumbs for you.
Or a big whole loaf of sourdough or cinnamon rolls, whichever. But I mean, the cinnamon roll's right here. You just have to realize you're the cinnamon roll and the icing, and it's infinite icing. So pour it on, baby. Let's eat some sticky buns. Yeah.
That's a perfect nickname, cinnamon roll.
For a dog, maybe.
What is Heimdall's nickname?
Oh, Heimdall.
Jaime?
Baby, Boo, Angel. Oh God, there's so many names.
Yeah.
Sacred One. You know what I mean?
And every time he knows it's him.
Oh yeah, he adores me and I adore him. I'm his mama. So he's massive, but he's like my little shadow. He's got to protect me.
Yeah.
And guide, you know what I mean? And watch me. He's got to make sure there's no not like there's a lot of things coming out to get me, but there's program for that. That's just what he's programmed to do. He's a watchdog.
Makes him feel whole.
It's his purpose. Like, I mean, you'll see out there with his chest up and he's all regal. And I'm like, God damn, it is so beautiful and regal and poised. I mean, you know what I'm talking about with your dog? It's beautiful. And that's their purpose. This is what I'm here to do. There's so much dignity. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. So much built in. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, they're also stubborn. I mean, mine is. He's like, dude, I'm ancient. I'm not listening to you. I lived in the Pyrenees Mountains and did shit on my own. I'm not listening to your commands, lady.
I was designed not to
give
give instructions, so
right. No, it's true. That's exactly. He was supposed to think on his own. So yeah, he's like, screw you. Sometimes. But hey, we're the same way, aren't we? I mean, that's a built-in mechanism, and we have that too. Don't tell me what to do. I'm ancient. I know what I'm here to do. I know what I'm here to be. Bye. I mean, we're the same way.
Oh yeah.
It's just like within the human realm, we're like, well, you're arrogant, or what's up with that? But when a dog does it, we're like, well, that's obvious. It's in their genetic code to be like that.
Yeah.
And it's in our genetic code to be like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
yeah,
be a little stubborn to those who try to change you, so to speak. Yeah.
There seems to be kind of like a commonality too, like with people that are more open to something else instead of applying themselves to some rigid experience or existence. There seems to be a common buck the system, like question everything energy at first, and then that opens up in the heart, like you spoke about. Sometimes though it does start here. And,
no, totally.
And I have some people go, oh, I people keep telling me I'm a nihilist, like, and I just want to check in with you. And I'm like, well, it might have something to do with a closing here. So what is it like
totally.
Feel? What is it? Just get into the details of it. If you have to characterize it, give me a color and make it, let it be this instant. Let it be so intuitive that you don't get to debate the color and the texture and feel so completely that you lose any sense of anything else other than this. That's one of my favorite things, is just melting into, like, love is a great way to put it. Yet for a lot of human beings, love is such a sticky word. So sometimes the word comes out as compassion, but it's really the same thing.
Oh, totally. I get you. Absolutely. Yeah. We're all learning how to feel, so to speak. That's what it is. Because that's what's
Yeah.
organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's organic.
There's
Yeah.
this visceral like memory of being a really little, when there was hair, I was a carrot top, right?
Rocking a ponytail, I bet, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had a tail.
That's tail. Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
Go on.
Living in the trailer park as a Kool-Aid lip stained little boy that without a shirt on, that was the jam.
Yeah. All right.
And I remember like when sensations would arise, it was so intense. Like it was like it was like taking all of the energy of the sun and attempting to contain it in this little skinny body is what it was like. And I specifically remember going, I can't do this. Like this is going to kill me. And that there was a little insight there, kind of just reflecting back. Yeah, it's a story. It's still conceptual. Those things never happened. But that as that arises, I go, oh, I get it. Because we're still innocent.
Yeah.
We're still that.
Totally.
We never left them behind.
What, the kids within us? Yeah, totally. Obviously, yeah.
And so those sensations, like you get to develop a new relationship with them right now. Right now.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And it takes on everything, changes, because nothing's scary anymore. You're not afraid of your emotions anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't seem magnified. We magnify them with our stories and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
The white horse, it's like our whatever the identity thing is like, oh, I'm going to beat you up with these emotions so I can save you later.
Love yourself with your own emotions. Sounds glorious, but that's what happens a lot on the spiritual path, isn't it? We're just beating the shit out of ourselves, really, until we put the club down and we realize, wow.
Yeah, self-flagellation, not even always metaphorical either.
It's not like, really, yeah. Well, because that comes from a lot of lineages too, though, to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that conditioned learned response, and as it goes, like with family, how is extended family and relationships like that, how is that continuing to blossom?
Well, I don't know if I would say like it's blossoming, but a lot of things have changed because I'm not codependent to them anymore. I've seen through all of those types of things, but they're still showing up as presence naturally, but there's no longer taking anything personal, and there's no codependency. Yeah, I mean, when you realize like everyone is you, death's an illusion, I mean, your whole game changes. You don't see anything like it used to be. I mean, this is radically changes your life, so to speak. It's just there's not a person there to really report about it, so it's not like this, oh my god, kind of thing. Guess what happened in my life today? It's not like that anymore. It's just like, and okay.
In the midst.
Here we go. Yeah, I mean, but it is bizarre. I'm not going to say it's not bizarre. It's very surreal. It's not linear anymore. So, yeah, you realize everything exists now. So if a loved one dies, they're still here. The body may have disappeared, but I mean, it's just consciousness. They're in your heart and your breath right now. So you're still going through like the emotions and the story and the movie that appears, attending funerals or parties or work engagements, but there just isn't those choppiness of time and seasons. It's now, it's always here. It's always this, and that can be bizarre at first, so to speak.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times it feels like no one's doing anything, but things are somehow still happening.
It's both. Yeah, and that's why it can be bizarre, because being is doing and doing is being. Is just what collapses is like that headiness of like control, and I am the one doing this. It's more like a seamless intimacy, just like an animal that goes and eats a mouse. Obviously they did that, but they're not like, oh my god, guys, did you see what I just did? That's what drops. Yeah. But they're still celebrating. They're still like, hell yeah, I'm going to go create that. And I'm going to do that. But if it fails or something, it's like, you're good. And that's a huge shift from just being a human, that like literally your money can be taken away or your house. And you're like, I know where heaven is. I can rebuild it again. I can rebuild this, so to speak.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, opportunity to, I guess I'm camping for a while. That sounds fun.
Right. We're going to learn how to make our own food or grow our own food or whatever. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Absolutely. It's just this seamless adventure.
Yeah.
Have you ever read The Alchemist?
I have not, but I know of it. Like, I mean, it's a big one, right? So I've heard of it.
It's actually
Yep.
such an interesting, if you look at it as a metaphor, it's such a great metaphor. And it's
Is
like
it?
he's looking for something and he leaves home to go find it, without telling you all the details. And
Mm.
in the very end of the book, he comes home and that's where he finds the thing that he was looking for. And
Ah,
it's this beautiful paradoxical story of it was always there and he still had to do the journey. He still had to
yeah.
discover that it was always there.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
It's
It's such a paradox.
it's just so pretty,
Yeah.
you know?
It is too, though. That's why too, though, it's like yeah, the concepts and everything fall because you don't really get it. The mind never really gets it. It's just like you're thrown into it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So to speak, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Beautiful.
art. Yeah.
Art. That's it.
That's the
Hmm.
best way to put it. Because art doesn't make sense sometimes. You know what I mean? But you're like, wow, that's disturbing and beautiful at the same time. Wow. Okay. Ah. Yeah, I mean, but that's what art does to you. It moves you. You know what I mean? Or it can just disturb you, which is still a movement. That's really what life is, because it's all the colors and vibrations appearing on this canvas.
Hmm.
You know? Yeah.
Just like
It's just what we're playing as a game, though, is like what
that's it.
happens when we take this color away. They're all still valid and included, but it's like what happens when we stop using that poopy color?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't look poopy. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know I could do that. That's neat. It's kind of like that. And then like you just go deeper and you start going deeper than any teachers, any books, because we don't wait on any man to tell us what's possible. And you just keep opening new barriers and realms, so to speak. Because I mean, you're an infinite consciousness. There's no end to what you can discover or bring forth into what we call this world or realm. There's no end. And don't let any man or woman tell you that this is the end, because there is no end. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's such a sense of improv too. Spontaneity,
Mm-hmm.
immediate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Words.
No, yeah, true. It's just like what, but unlike improv, I once took an improv class when I was seemingly a person. Yeah. Upright Citizens Brigade. I paid to try to do that. Yeah, yeah. But what the difference between that was with improv, if you got self-consciousness, improv is it's a little scary and then nerve-wracking. But yeah, you could say it's all spontaneity. But improv, sometimes you still try with improv. You know, you're like, oh, did I do it right? I mean, you know, because there's a person there trying to get it right. Yeah.
But look, right here, this is improv. Like you said, this
is with us. Yeah, but there's no one in the way though. So that's what happens when the mind drops into the heart, or that's what happens when you just give yourself permission. You know what I mean? To be yourself instead of like, am I right? Am I standing right? Breathing right? Is this how an awakened being looks like? Are my eyes open enough? Should I slouch? Should I not slouch? Yeah.
I should check my makeup.
Right. Do I have a booger? Like, what's happening?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know what I mean? There's like a weird hyper focus on yourself.
It's just the mustache. It's just.
We're poking fun. I mean, yeah, but you get me.
Yeah. I like also said, like, what if I take this away? It's like experimentation play, but also challenge the have-tos. I don't have to use poopy color.
Right.
Just using that same metaphor.
Or even I don't have to use yellow, or I don't have to use bright colors either. I mean, there's gorgeousness to black. I love black. It's the void. It's gorgeous. But yeah, sometimes there's those associations with colors, like black is dark and ominous, you know, and all of these types of things. So all of that collapses and you realize it's all consciousness. It's all what we call God, or the absolute.
Yeah, outside of meaning, what remains?
Can't really say, but I could use a lot of words, which would just be poetry. I mean, again, it's a visceral self. You feel the love. I mean, you feel the infinite that you are with your body vehicle. That's why the body is so important. And it's really the final frontier on Storybook Earth. For so many Advaita and old school, it's like, get rid of the body. It doesn't exist. Everything's an illusion, but it's like you can only recognize the formless within the form. So that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, also, what is rejected? It makes no sense to reject. How and imagine being able to like accept 99% of everything, but you're still rejecting that 1%. That 1%'s going nowhere.
Right, because the 1% is the totality. Right.
So what?
Yeah.
There's nothing to reject. The idea is silly. Like taking a stance is silly. Like this is how it is. That what?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a microsecond and then see what happens.
Yeah, no, I get you. But there will still be the appearances of stances.
Always.
You know what I mean? Because the story goes on. I mean, and maybe your character's the one who's going to take a stance. Maybe you're MLK in your story. You would have to take a stance because that would be what you're designed to be, so to speak.
The stance is definitely part of it. But hold
right.
on, like that song, Hold On Loosely, you know?
Oh, it's such a good song, man. Don't let go. Right? Because if you squeeze too tightly, you're going to lose control. Right? Is that right? I'm pretty close.
Oh, no, I feel like I need to be jamming on some guitar right now.
Yeah, right on. No, seriously, because love doesn't, it's like this, you know, like if you were holding a little butterfly, it's got to breathe, got to be, softness. Like,
softness. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. But again, I mean, we're everything. We're the softness and we're also the, so it's, and you're going to know what time needs what. And that's the intuitive pulse, or you just flowing with the pulses of the oceanic, so to speak, the oceanic consciousness. You just know.
Yeah. One of my Australian friends said, he's said something like, it's like being a grain of sand in the surf. And if you're able to watch that grain of sand, it's just, you know.
It's beautiful.
And I'm like, there was such a visceral visage of that. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
It's kind of nice.
I get that. Mm-hmm. And can be a little dizzying. So that's where they're also, because that's where we can be in the space of nothing. When we realize we're the zero, a lot of beings kind of float for a while. It's extremely ungrounded and nothing shows up because they're not moved by desire anymore. But then we realize, I don't want to float. I kind of want to tether. I don't really want to be a balloon just floating around out there. You know what I mean? But then we create the string and we tie the string and we create the grid work for the ground that the balloon's going to be on. But yeah, it does appear for many that we kind of float for a while. It's just, there's something missing there, and we feel that. And that's where the form comes back in, the mother, the feminine of I'm everything. Yeah, let's make love. Yes, let's eat some fucking cheesecake. You know, like let's hold hands because it's beautiful. I mean, it's so delicious when you're fully conscious with the form and understanding it's not to be rejected, but respected. It serves you. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the way?
Only our own thoughts. So there you go.
There's some breadcrumbs right there. There is no truth. There is no truth but your truth. Make sure it's true.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss. Yes, in essence, that is true. You got it. I mean, but that's another thing for it. If you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything, kind of a thing. So that's when you realize you're the main character of your movie. Like, make it fucking epic. You're an eternal dreamer. This dream's not going to last. So why not make it gorgeous? Why not make it beautiful? Why not infuse it with your consciousness, with your love, your breath? Why not? I mean, the other way is possible too. We can go murky, and I'm not disregarding that. This is just a show of, hey, we got potential, and you do have choice if you're conscious. We're not victims, only if we think we are.
But poverty's arising.
Right, but you designed poverty consciousness for you to experience until you realize you're the light of consciousness and awareness, and that you can sweep that up and generate a whole new world based on your energetics.
Yeah, it's like if I had a pair of sunglasses that had like a yellow tint and I put them on, everything has a yellow tint. So just
or rose colored or whatever. Yeah,
there you go, rose colored.
Yeah, very, very similar to that. That's all it is. But you have to know you're all sunglasses. And this character experienced poverty consciousness. You know, that's why too I have such an empowerment voice, and like, you do have a choice. Okay, when you're conscious, you must understand that you can heal diseases too. I thought I was going to die of an eating disorder. So we have power once we recognize that we are the light of consciousness, and we move the elements with our breath, our voice, our focus.
Pretty.
So,
wow. Well, I don't even know there's no way to sum this up. That's how great this was.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Truly, though.
Sweet.
And you know, just your willingness and openness and just that fire, it's all appreciated so much.
Thanks. I really I can't stop it. You know, it just comes out. So thanks for inviting me to play with you, dance with you.
Yeah, and you know, just even the email exchanges and everything, it's just so kind. And so you know that light is just it does shine, and it's felt.
Thanks,
so
thanks, man. Well, I appreciate you. You're really sweet and generous.
We appreciate your sharing, definitely, and
thanks.
Here too, especially. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The gratitude's mutual. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Right, man. Is there anything else? Is this where we say adios for the podcast? Yeah.
I guess. Cool?
I don't know how you normally operate, you know, so I'm just flowing with you, man.
See you next week at the same time. You know, there's no, there's real
7
no
p.m. ET. Yeah. All right, cool, man. You take care. Thanks again for everything.
All right.
All right. Bye.